Thank you. I'm ready to rock and roll for Jesus. Thank you. You can just press play then, up there. Yeah. I made this beautiful presentation for all of us. The keypad is a little bit, you gotta use like the bottom left of the keypad. It doesn't like to work sometimes. Well, anyway, in the meantime, thank you guys for having me. Yeah, I did want to speak today. I've been home for a week, and I'm going to Nebraska next week, and then I'll be in Lubbock, and this is kind of like my one time to share with you guys what I've been doing, what's been happening, and my thank you for everything that you guys have done for me just in these last years that I've been in Australia. It's an incredible privilege to be able to, I guess, be in the seat that I'm in, that I get to do what I feel like God is calling me to do, and that you guys are so supportive of that. And so, firstly, I just want to say my biggest thank you. Like Thomas said, I get to my job. I get to equip and encourage the global church, which is a really cool thing. I do that in Australia, but also beyond. And when you guys choose to support me, and when you choose to partner with me, whether it's financially or in prayer, that the fruit of my labor in the world becomes also your fruit, and so then you are in this kind of like whatever God is doing in the world that is from you as well, and you get to partake in that, and I think that's an incredible partnership. And so because you guys support me in Australia, and what I do in Australia is kind of vague. I wanted to take some time to be able to really, like, in detail, kind of describe what I do, and I'm gonna do it in the next 20 minutes because we have family photos. So, but firstly, I work with an organization called Youth with a Mission, and Youth with a Mission is a global mission trainings organization. There is a video. We don't have to watch the video. Oh, are you ready? Let's go for it. I didn't know what the thumbs up was. Hey, Jake in Australia. This is my YWAM journey. And I've got a video on the next slide talking about Youth with a Mission, which is the organization that I work with. You have to press it one more time.
So what is Youth with a Mission? Youth with a Mission, or YWAM, is a global movement of Christians dedicated to knowing God and making God known. YWAM started in 1960 as a way to get young people involved in missions. We still do that today, but we're involved in every kind of outreach, every kind of ministry that you can imagine. We currently have over 18,000 staff with locations in over 180 countries. YWAM's many ministries fit into three major categories: evangelism, training, and mercy ministries. We do evangelism because we believe that everyone in the world has the right to hear the message of Jesus. We do training to equip people to use their unique calling to do that. And everyone in Youth with a Mission does an intensive half-year discipleship course called the Discipleship Training School. Our third focus is mercy ministries, where our staff are giving hope to the poor, sick, and those suffering from injustice. YWAM has a place for everyone and endless opportunities. You can find out more about what we're doing and ways to get involved at our website.
Awesome. Yeah, so it's a really big organization, and I think that it's really cool. I think of the three ministry prongs that we work out of: evangelism, training, and mercy ministries. I'm specifically partnered in the training aspect of our organization. Youth with a Mission Brisbane is where I'm located. Brisbane is the capital city of the state of Queensland in Australia. It's the third largest city in Australia. We have about 100 full-time staff at our campus. So there's about 100 full-time staff that work every day you know, with the mission that we want to see people equipped and trained to go out into the world to do the ministry of the gospel, and so that's really cool. We run 6 training schools a year. 100 students roughly a year are trained in our center to do the work of ministry wherever God calls them, whether that's going back to college or that's going into a work field, or that's going into the mission field somewhere. We're a really pioneering base, and so we've pioneered a lot of YWAM bases around the globe, including Detroit and Cusco, Peru, and a lot in Malaysia and India and in Prague in Europe, and so which is really cool. Specifically in Brisbane, we run a Bible school. We have an independent film company that works in the film industry, and they run a film school. They run an acting school for people that want to be trained in that, but then also go into Hollywood to be a light in that area as well. We have a cafe that is kind of like the forefront of our local outreach, where we host events and activities for the community to come together and be engaged, and where we can meet the community and things like that. And so I specifically work in Brisbane. You can go to the next slide, Deb. The DTS is probably the main thing that YWAM is known for, and it's the Discipleship Training School. We run 6 of these every year. They're 6 months long, roughly. 3 months is intense discipleship training, where you're in lectures and study work. You're doing service projects in the community. You're learning about the character and nature of God, hearing the voice of God, evangelism, spiritual warfare, like intercession, worship, all of these things, so that it's the equipping time before we send you 3 months into the mission field and say, go for it, you know, and go to these places and bring the gospel of Jesus. And so most of what we do is centered around the Discipleship Training School. I don't have a direct involvement with the DTS. I have another job, but I do work. What I do is because I believe in the training of what we do. I believe in our schools, and I believe that God transforms people's lives when they come. And so that's next one. So this is my team. It's the Creative Development Ministry team, or the CDMT. Back in March, I was given the opportunity to be the ministry leader of our creative team. And things that we work, this is our worship and intercession ministries. And so I lead our worship and intercession ministries. This is our media and communications, social media marketing, and website ministries, as well as our community development and like community gatherings. So it's a very wide and broad range of things, but if it is creative, then it kind of falls into my category, which basically means for me is that I get to disciple young people in creative ministry, young creatives that come and they want to use their gifts to glorify God and to spread the gospel. They come to YWAM, and I get to be the discipler of the creative people, which is awesome. This is my team at the moment. Me on the right. Next to me is Lindsay. Lindsay is from Michigan, and she kind of heads up our worship department. So I'm kind of the umbrella of protection over everyone, and she is the one that helps me in worship ministry and in our community engagements. Next to her is Logan from Oklahoma, and Logan works with me in media and marketing, graphic design. She does that kind of work. And then next to her is Isaac. Isaac is from Iowa. He helps me in social media and things like that. And so this is my team of 4. It's really awesome. I've been really blessed to have people that love being creative. We love what we do, and we love getting to be a part of Youth with a Mission. And so, but that's just one thing that I do. I'm also a church leader at my church. So the guys on the left are year 12 boys in Australia that I get to disciple, that I work with every week, and I love it. I love working with the youth at my church. I get to lead meetings as a youth leader, which is the one on the right, the picture on the right. That was taken a couple of weeks ago. Getting up on stage and leading the meetings is really awesome. I work with the youth. But the thing that I think that is most important is the training of the youth, which is the next slide. So I have the opportunity to speak now and again in different places. This is me speaking at youth, and I think that I was talking about being a light in the darkness. Actually, this one showed up on my Facebook time hop yesterday or today. I think that was exactly 1 year ago, where I got to speak at my church. And the next one, Dad. This is me speaking for the DCS students. So I get to teach on unity in the church, in the body of Christ. I'm in the discipleship schools that we run. This is one that ran in February, and I got to speak on unity in the church, which was really awesome. The next one, this is me in Peru. I went to Peru last year, and I was able to work with these boys in a school, and one of the programs that I run is called Strength, and it's an identity course. Talking about the value of the value of strength and what it means to be a man in today's world, and in our identity and value, and so that was really cool. But I don't have a slide for the next one, but it's the music schools. I get to work directly with the music students, and so they come and they want to learn how to use music to glorify God, and I get to work with them to develop their gifts and to use them for ministry. But one of the last things that I do is that I get to lead worship, and this is so dark, you can't see it. I'm like right here, and this blob. I'm right there in that, and I've had the privilege and the honor of being able to become one of the worship leaders for our center. So we, as a ministry, we meet every Monday morning. As a community, we have worship, and it's like we pray, and normally we'll hear a word from our bass director and stuff. But every first Wednesday of the month, we hold a giant worship night where we invite the community to come and this is one of those nights. We get in a circle and we just go for worship for 2 hours, and it's incredible, and it's an incredible privilege to me, and I will hopefully get to that in a little bit. So because I love worship, and I think this is one of the things that has been so important to me as I have been growing and in my relationship with God, and as I've been growing in ministry as well, because I love worship leading for three reasons. Number one, I believe that God is raising up waves upon waves of young people who are falling in love with His presence, and who are in awe and wonder of who He is. And as a worship leader, I get to lead them into that place. And so I dive deeper into the heart of worship because I lead a community of people, of young people who are seeking the heart of God. And so as a worship leader, I shepherd them into the places and the place of the heart of God that I have been before, and then teach them how to do it for themselves. So as a worship leader, we get to shepherd our people, and we get to teach our people how to experience the heart of God for them, because worship is all about connection. Worship is about connection with God. We come into this place, we gather together, and it's to meet with God. It's to meet with God. And when we sing our praises, when we sing praise and thanksgiving to the Lord, it says that's the highway into the gates of God. That's to the throne room of God, where we get to actually meet with Him. And so being a worship leader, it is we get to shepherd our people, and we get to bring them with us into the presence of God where we have been. and then in the process, we teach them how to